What's up? Um, I know you guys are probably wondering, like, man, Islam, man, it's pretty jacked up, ain't it? Like, what's wrong with these people? The thing is, like, my family, we came from Islam, but we ain't act like this. you know, it's like when Islam at first, like the Muslims were usually kind of like the minority. The population was usually pretty small of them, so you kind of had to kind of not cause attention to yourself. So because of that, you know, you wouldn't do anything to upset anybody because you want to be left alone. So, um, but that's the problem with multiculturalism is that in the beginning, when you're just bringing in small pockets of people, there's not a lot of problems because it's a small group. They usually come in for work or jobs, or they're the smart ones, and they want to assimilate because they don't want to go back to their country. They come because their country sucks. So, but eventually, it's all about the sirens. But anyway, you would think I got a terrorist attack. But anyway, so eventually, if you bring too many people in, eventually some of the other parts of the culture starts to come. So at first, you're just bringing pockets of Muslims, pockets of Mexicans that are coming just for a better life. But every country has bad apples. Every country has people in the country that, cause trouble. Crimes, rapes, murders, assaults, molesting, domestic abuse, all that stuff. So every country has that. There is no, I can't name the one country that doesn't have some type of problems, that doesn't have a sector of the community that causes problems. So when we open the borders, we open ourselves to all the rest of the population and all the rest of the country's problems. They messed up their country. They didn't do nothing to fix their country. So we're bringing all the other people to come to this country and mess ours up. And you might say, well, didn't we do that when we brought the Europeans here and then they kill all the Indians off? I was like, the Indians were killing off themselves. So they wasn't doing much at all anyway. So I don't know. I try not to get into that because, you know, history is kind of complicated and will take too long to explain it. um, but anyway, so you have now, at first, the terrorist attacks were usually in concentrated areas, like they would be killing like government officials or leaders and whatnot. But just like Joker would say, that was usually part of the plan. You would kill people like that. You know, you would kill cops, or you would kill government officials, you would kill politicians, you would kill leaders. And that was usually part of the plan. They would usually do stuff like that. When it's something that's part of the plan, life goes on. But once something happens and it's not part of the plan, it's not normal, then now it's this disruption. Now it's like, no, what? Now we gotta analyze it. And people are saying we gotta pray for the victims and stuff. And I'm thinking like, yeah, you could do that, but the terrorists, the communities that these terrorists come from, these communities still exist. So we can pray for the victims, but these communities where they come from still exist. So praying for the victims doesn't do anything. These communities still exist. They come from bad communities. They come from bad countries. And people say well, why do we bomb them? Why do we do this? Did you know that over there they rape their women, they chop their hands off, they chop their heads off, chop the kids' hands off. They burn people alive, burn Christians alive. They want to kill the Jews. Maybe you have your reasons. I don't know, whatever. They do all of this stuff, And I say, what does that got to do with us bombing them for? Okay, we bomb them, yeah. But what does that got to do with you raping your women? What does that got to do with you molesting your babies and molesting your daughters? They ain't got nothing to do with that. So people say, yeah, well, we be bombing them though. Like, well, that's not an excuse. You still shouldn't be raping your women because they show their ankle or something. So, yeah, we interfere with the countries and we do a lot of corrupt stuff. But what does that got to do with you raping your women? So these are just loser people, like like Trump was saying. These are just a bunch of losers with crappy lives. They come to our country, still have crappy lives. You know, they don't improve their lives. They don't do anything about them. They don't come to improve anything. They come to mess everything up. And then you got the moderate Muslims saying, well, we don't condone this and all that stuff. I'm like, this is the problem. You have people just ignoring stuff. When people say we're going to pray for them, that's basically saying we're going to ignore it. We ain't going to do nothing about it. So when I hear that, we're going to have a vigil, basically, a candlelight vigil is basically you celebrating death. We're going to honor the dead. Because instead of getting to know people and knowing people why they're alive, we want to celebrate their death. That's basically what it is. So, I mean, it's like, at this point, I don't want to give people any advice because they already know what they need to do. They need to change. They need to gain more knowledge. They need to protect their family. They need to protect their women. But I don't know. Telling them that doesn't mean anything anymore. They want to get on with business as usual, and they don't think they have to change anything. And I think, like probably before, the far right is probably going to save the day. The far right is almost like the brave people, and then the left and the far left are usually the cowards. And they're the cowards that don't want to change. They want to, pray for the victims. They want to understand the mind of the Muslim and all this stuff, and they're scared of the backlash. Scared of the backlash. The dude just killed 22 people, and you're scared of a backlash. I don't know if it's 19 or 22. I don't even know. So I think what we have is just a bunch of coward people that don't want to change. They don't want to learn more. They don't think they got to learn more. They don't think they got to learn anything about the religion at all, anything about the people. But I think at this point, I don't even think it matters. I don't think you need to know what the religion is. I think you just need to protect your country and protect your people. At this point, we already know these people are crazy. They don't like us. They hate us. So trying to learn about them is pointless at this point. I think the only thing you should be worrying about is protecting your country. And get them out of your country. And get the moderates out too, because they don't do nothing either. All they do is ignore. They hug with you, and then they go home and don't do nothing. They don't contribute anything. They come here and they cry with you, and they hug you, and then they go home and nothing changed. They don't do anything about anything. The good thing about America is that we got enough part of the population that isn't stupid. And then you might have we have liberals in this country, but they're usually pretty fake. Like they're not actually in favor of immigration. Of course, they outright say they're for immigration, but they don't really want it at all. They definitely don't want it in their community. So the fakery is that they praise immigration as long as it's not in their community. So the good thing is we got enough patriots and we got enough fake liberals that they talk about immigration, they talk about socialism, but they really don't mean it, because they they really know if as soon as it comes to their community, they'll put a stop to it. So it's a good thing we got enough patriots, not enough far right, not enough right wing. We got enough gun owners. We got enough like woke people, and we got a bunch of fake liberals that they care enough about their community that immigration ain't coming into their community. So they'll praise some immigration all day. But as soon as it comes to your community, they put a stop to it. So that's a good thing that they're fake. Yeah. Because, you know, so if you got the regular folk don't want it, and you got the fake liberals that don't want it, then you know it ain't gonna happen. So that's a good thing. But in Europe, I don't know. That place is old. I don't know what to do. And I think that was the UK. That was a Brexit, right? I think it was Britain. Like I don't know. I gotta look it up. But I think that place is done. I think people are just they don't want to change. They don't think they have to learn anymore. They don't think they have to learn. They don't think they have to become strong or protect their country. They're still saying open borders. Once I heard that, I was like, you know what? I, I ain't got nothing for it. I don't got nothing for you now. I ain't got nothing to say about y'all now. Y'all can do what y'all want now. If y'all want to show your country, okay, that's what y'all want. I can't do nothing about it. All I can say is I'm glad I'm in the U.S. and I'm glad we care enough. So, what do you think? You know, is Europe done, or not? I don't know. I think it's done, but hey, there's a small minority of far right up in there, and I think secretly they care about that far right up in their country, willing to fight to protect the country. So, but I think it's done. But I mean, I could be wrong. But I would just say I'm glad I live in America. I'm glad we care. Um, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, peace out.